A red velvet cake is perfect for Valentine's Day and had fun turning a cupcake into a mini layer cake. Hi, and we welcome you to Hershberger's Miracle Homestead.
Hello and welcome to the kitchen action of our homestead today. The day is slipping away from me, but I still have a red velvet cake to make because someone requested it for tomorrow, so I will be making the red velvet cake, and I thought I'd bring you along with me. So I will pull you in and we'll go across the ingredients and then we'll get started. We will need granulated sugar, room temperature eggs, vegetable oil, all-purpose flour, sifted, buttermilk, red food coloring, vinegar, cocoa, soda, and vanilla. We will be starting out with mixing the eggs, sugar. We'll be using the paddle attachment, and this is our KitchenAid. And we want this to become light and fluffy, so we will mix it for 5 minutes. While this is mixing, I will add the cocoa to the flour and combine it a little bit. Just give it a light stir. It doesn't have to be completely combined. See how light and creamy that is? Now we will add the oil, vanilla, vinegar, soda. We'll give this a mix. Alternate adding the flour cocoa mixture and the buttermilk, and the first time I put in will be flour, and then I will add the red food coloring. And now the red food coloring. And there the color is changing. Now I like to give it a scrape down in the middle of adding the flour because it does have a way of wanting to hang to the side. I'll add some more flour. Buttermilk. And the last of the flour. Give it one final scrape down. One final light mix. It shouldn't take much. This will be a 3-layer cake. 1 layer of cake is 2 1/4 cup of cake batter. I couldn't remember if it was enough batter for the 4th layer or if we do cupcakes. And obviously we do cupcakes because it's not enough for another layer. So I don't know if you can see the bubbles in that or not. Often I just take my hand like that, or you can put to make so it's not so much noise, just put a tea towel down. That helps knock some of the air out. Also with a knife, if you just cut through like this, you can also knock out some air pockets. I bake these on the convection bake at 340 for 25 to 30 minutes. The cakes are out of the oven. I'm going to dump them out on a cooling rack, and then after they are cool, I will wrap them and we will put cream cheese icing on them tomorrow. So I forgot to tell you that we still do old-fashioned way of preparing our pan, greasing it with Crisco, putting the parchment paper around on the bottom, and flouring it. So Now just run the knife along the edge. Flip them over. These cupcakes, just set them out on a cooling rack as well. Pick this up. Don't forget to remove the paper. Here we have it, the 3 layers and a few cupcakes, which one of these will be crumbs made out of to put on the outside of the cream cheese icing. I have the cream cheese icing here. There is a recipe, a video on this already, and we will have it linked below. So we didn't video doing the cream cheese icing. And also, I overslept a little bit, so my feet hit the ground running this morning. I iced the first layer already, and now put it in the freezer for about 15 minutes so the icing can set. So I will pull it out, and we'll get the second layer on, and then the third layer. If the cake wants to dome up in the middle, just take a knife and cut it. And then you want to be sure all the crumbs are brushed off. And place it the icing going on the cake layer here is the layer of icing between the layers. You'll want to keep that in mind and not do a crumb coat on the layer. On the side of the cake, then I will do a crumb coat where it's just a thin layer of icing to trap the crumbs in, so when you do the final thing, it's not crumbs everywhere. Here is where we do the crumb coat. Just go down. Sometimes there's just a little crack between the layers too. Just push the icing in there. Now for the final thing, just do, there we go. This goes back in the freezer for 15 minutes. And that helps the icing to set. Right now it was just made and it's real soft. So it's easier to get your layers in place. We are ready to put the third and final layer on. Here again, you can use saran wrap to pick the cake up. Brush the crumbs off the cake. Here we have crumb coat on everything. I say on everything, on the top layer. Crumb coat only. And then we'll put it back in the freezer for another 10 minutes. Then we'll pull it out and throw icing over everything. So right here is just the crumb coat because it is the top layer. And then just run that across there. And get the crumbs ready to throw on the outside of the cake. Now I like to put it on a rag to help deaden the noise. It looks like it's a fine crumb. We are ready to put our final layer on. Now some like to do the sides first and then the top. I always start with the top. And now start with going down the side all the way to the bottom. The crumbs off the edge. And we'll put it back in the freezer for a final 10 minutes. Now I'm going to play around with those cupcakes a little bit. For this, since this will be very crummy, I'm just going to use a piping bag. Okie dokie, folks. Here we have the 3-layer red velvet cake with cream cheese icing. And along with that, we have our little mini red velvet cupcake. We have our red velvet cupcake turned into a mini 2-layer cake. So we can cut it open and see what it looks like. One cut down the center. Pull it apart. So here we have the mini 2-layer red velvet cake with cream cheese icing. Thank you for joining me in the kitchen for making the red velvet cake. And if you all make this recipe, which will be included in the description box below, and where's the description box, some people have asked. When you click on to our videos, it gives about a 3-line description of our video, and at the end of the 3rd line it says show more. Click on show more and that will take you on down to the recipe. So if you all make it, we hope you enjoy it as much as we do. And now stay tuned for the golden thought.
And now, as always, we'll close with a golden thought.
Welcome and thank you for joining us today. I'm Dorothy and I'm here with my special brother Buddy. Yeah, it looks like he's about ready to take a nap. It's early afternoon. He does often take a nap about this time, but we thought maybe we can get a golden thought in yet. The golden thought for today is all people smile in the same language. You know, sometimes we don't speak the same language, and so verbally we have a hard time communicating. But a smile is universal. We all smile in the same language. A smile can be uplifting and encouraging without saying any words. We thank you for joining us, and we hope you're having a great day. And until next time, God bless.